Welcome back to the Green Yard. Kind of a fun, short episode today, talking about growing a miracle fruit here in the Phoenix Valley. A lot of people have been very successful growing this plant here in the Phoenix Valley. It does very well here. You can get lots of fruit here. For those of you that don't know what miracle fruit is, it's a small red bean-shaped fruit. Almost looks like a coffee bean, for those of you that know, before it's roasted. It's kind of red in size, and it changes anything sour and makes it sweet. So if you were to, throw one of those berries in your mouth for a minute or so, chew it around, after that you could bite into a lemon and it would taste like candy. It would taste sweet. So it changes the composition of your mouth from to make those sour things taste sweet, which is really, really amazing. This one here is my miracle fruit tree. I know it looks like a small bush right now, but it is actually a tree. People do have 6 to 8 foot tall miracle fruits here in the Phoenix area. This one's actually doing really well, and one of the unique things with mine is I decided to put it in the ground. A lot of people here in Phoenix grow them in pots because of their really low pH requirement. They require a very low pH, which means if you do grow it in the ground like me, you do have to continually add that sulfur in. I add it every 2 months or so to really get the pH of the soil in this area to be low enough for this plant to thrive. My first year that I had it in the ground, this has been in the ground for almost over 2 years now. Actually right around 2 years. My first year I had it in the ground, I actually got a berry off of it. Unfortunately, I'm assuming one of our Green Yard dogs ate it before I was able to, but it's actually been growing a lot. It's put on about 6 inches in the last 2 years, which for this type of tree is a lot. Very, very slow grower. It can take years and years and years for it to put on a few feet of growth. But this one has a lot of new growth on it, not a lot of new leaves. It actually still has some flowers on it too, which I'm hoping are going to turn into some berries this year. So it is doing really good. So let's talk a little bit about, a little bit more about kind of what I do for my amendments and how I'm getting this to grow and thrive here in this Green Yard spot. Here we go. Things when planting a miracle fruit tree. We're over here in the food forest part of the Green Yard, which I know is somewhere I'm focusing a lot on lately. It's also because it is the oldest part of the Green Yard and where I've planted the most things. Our miracle fruit is over here protected, heavily protected, both with the shed. On this side we have our Michaelia alba. We have our loquat here. We also have our Namwa banana, sental, and a whole bunch of other beautiful plants over here. One of the main reasons why this is so successful though is because of this huge mulberry tree, the mother tree in our yard. Without this tree, most of the things that I'm growing would not be able to exist here because they would get too much sun exposure. Even as it is, you can see I've added some additional shade to it. It was getting a little bit too much sun this year, and so that is something that I constantly have to watch for. It is also cold sensitive, which means that it does have to be protected in the winter. Although last winter it did really well. It actually put on new growth while it was being protected, mainly because of the huge mulberry tree that does not allow frost to get down to the ground. Like I mentioned before, these plants do require a lot of sulfur to get that soil down to the correct pH so they can actually absorb those nutrients. I'm adding some more on right now. It's been about 2 months since I've added some in there. So definitely adding some more, trying to help this plant continue to thrive. You can see all of those new tiny leaves coming out. It's doing very, very well right now. All right, so once again, this is our miracle berry tree. It's doing very well here in the green yard in this microclimate underneath our huge mulberry tree, surrounded by all of these other wonderful, amazing tropical plants. I'm hoping to have a future update with this miracle berry where I'm actually trying the berries on camera. We're getting that amazing fruit off of here. Few other things that I do with it. I do add that monthly fish emulsion as well as granular fertilizer once every 3 months or so. It's doing really well here. You can also see it's heavily mulched. I have about a foot of mulch around there as well. As always, live green, plant lots. You can tell it's windy here. And of course, have fun. We'll see you guys next time.